Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be another one of these video battle reports, so hopefully you guys like it. You seemed to last time. And I'm going to be using the new Lizardmen. I have not used a new book yet. I haven't played my Lizardmen for like a year and a half, so this will be fun. It's a regular game, pitch battle. The only magical terrain is going to be the altar on the left. There's the altar of Cain. You can see on the right there's a Dwarven brew house. But pretty much because of that altar of Cain, I want, Frenzy to be onto my source and on Skinks. They're going to be around that, so that's why I'm starting with those deployments, putting my source around it. I also kind of want him to be, I want to set the line of battle, the summer in the middle of the board. I don't want him to really, not where I'm going to know where I'm going to go and put things in a spot where I don't want them to be. I want to say, hey, this is going to be my center of base, come face me type thing. So that's what's happening here. He's setting up his crossbowmen to shoot me as I advance, which is fine. Behind them is going to be the bunker. That's going to be having all of his spearmen, which are basically just guys waiting to be stabbed with his sacrificial dagger. But otherwise, now you're going to start deploying some of his Dark Riders. Dark Riders are a pretty good unit. I like them a lot, but they're not good against Skinks. Skinks are like a perfect counter, especially with the number I have. I'm just going to run up and shoot them off the board. So that won't be going well for him. So I'm going to be setting up all these Skinks here, but I have 4 units. 2 of them with blowpipes, 2 of them with javelins. I used to really like javelins in the old book, and by old book I mean 2 editions ago. But in the last book, it was needing to pay extra points, and I said screw that. So blowpipes are the way to go, and now I'm taking a little bit of each. Either way, he's putting more Dark Riders here in the bottom. I'm just going to be deploying more Skinks. Like I say, whether he moves up and shoots or I move up and shoot, it's going to go pretty well for me. You had to take the riders off because they're a little bit too heavy, so we got some horses here with crossbows and spears, but whatever. He's going to be doing his Hydra now, and I've been waiting for the Hydra because that's one thing that I want to pair against my Stegodon, because I'm trying out the new upgrade where he has a sharpened horn. So on the impact hits, it has D3 wounds, and I can't wait to plow into a Hydra, just like almost kill it with just impact hits. That's going to be awesome. So that's what I've set up there. He's now doing his repeater bolt throwers. Those will be annoying for some of my stronger stuff. And hey, if he gets lucky, he gets a Stegodon, he could do some real serious damage there too. Otherwise, now seeing the way he's deploying, I'm putting most of my Skinks on the bottom because I'm just going to go and kill off all this weak stuff, try and poison his Hydra, all that great stuff. And otherwise, I'll be just going up the middle with my Saurus, or middle to left, and going after them. He is going to be dedicating his knights to the top of the board now, and this is actually away from everything. It probably would have been a lot better for him looking at this to dedicate the knights to the bottom, do all 10 in like a long single file line and just like run down my Skinks, but now I'm going to have my knights to face him. I'm going to be putting my Croxagore over there to face him. I'll have Skinks to redirect him, so that should be, it's like a 4 against 1 type unit matchup here. He's going to do his characters now, so he's going to be putting his Cauldron BSB. That thing's just awesome. What an awesome unit. I have no idea what it's going to do in the new book, but if it has anything like it has now, it's... I wish I could be having that. Yeah, all my Saurus have Killing Blow or a 4+ ward, right? Just great stuff. He also is going to have his level 4, who has the Death Magic, be back in the bunker. Then he has going to have level 2 of Metal, that's going to be up with the crossbows. And he also has his Noble, which I know is going to have the Pendant and all that stuff there. But being that he's a Noble, he's not that crazy. Otherwise, he still has some Shades to deploy. I have everything to deploy. I have a lot more drops than he does. And this is really what happens. I mean, now that I'm not running with the whole Slan build, I'm running triple Skink Priest, 1 Scarvet, and then I have a lot of room for other stuff too. So 2 more Razordon at the bottom to help shoot off all of his chaff. I have my cohorts in the back as a bunker with the characters. Salamander's more up in the middle. And I win first turn. Oh, sorry, no, this is not there yet. There's a little bit of spoiler, but he's now going to be doing his scouts. So he's going to be figuring out where to put them. But, both of us are basically board edge to board edge, so you can't have any, like, sneaky beside or behind deployment. So he decides to put them behind the building. I decide to put mine at the top to help really make sure I can control those knights. I really think I should have actually put them inside the bottom building, but whatever. I put them up there. That's the way it is. Putting them down at the bottom would have also stopped the vanguards, but now I did not stop it, so he'll be able to vanguard up. So, but like I said, I'm really not worried about these guys. I'm like designed to kill these things, so this will be fairly easy for me. Otherwise, now we're rolling for turn. Even though you got the +1, I got it, and that's awesome. So do my stupidity, everything's good, and here comes a swarm. All the skinks start moving up. I really got to make some skirmisher movement trays. Just something I've never got around to yet. So everything's just moving up to shoot down these Dark Riders and hopefully panic them and God knows what else. Stegodon's getting up there. Salamander's going up to go and spray onto the shades. I'm just marching up with my big blocks in the bunker. And then I'm also going to be putting my Croxagore into the woods there. And it turns out that's a fungus forest. So I got to worry about stupidity there. But, you know, cold-blooded, I should be all right. So they go into there. Chameleon skinks going up just to kind of bait the knights off the board. And then otherwise, the other skinks have to get out of my way so that my knights can move up to counter. Because basically what I'm trying to do here is make him so he hits, go off the board, or just stay there, and then I just countercharge. And that would be pretty damn good for me. So we're going to do the magic phase here. I have one guy that has the the magic missile. So I'm going to try doing it. He's going to stop it. I have 2 of wild form, 1 with the magic missile. He stops it. He has a level 4 and my level 1, so it's pretty easy for him. Otherwise, I'm just going to start doing my shooting here now. Trying to shoot at his knights, and hey, fails 1, so there's 1 knight down. I roll a 2 for my salamander, which is perfect. Hit all the shades and kill them all. That felt nice. All those shades, lots of points, dead. Now I'm going to start shooting at these Dark Riders, just poisoning them up. You know, looking at it, I'm sure blowpipes is the better thing to go with, but you know what? I still like the thrown javelins as well. You know, you hit more times, and then you still have like a little bit of armor and a parry if you ever do want to charge into something. So, you know, I do like it. I think in the future, even if I had more blowpipes painted, I'd still go with 2 and 2. Otherwise, you know, we can see here from the shooting, really decimate both units of Dark Riders. I'm not able to panic them, unfortunately. And I do like 1 shot with a Stegodon, and I miss. Big deal. Otherwise, yeah, so what's going to be happening here now is we're going to be on to his turn. So he's not going to have any charges. He's actually going to be looking at 1 charge at the very top, which is his knights against my knights. Now, he needs an 11 to get it. But the thing in this situation is that if he doesn't dedicate now, it's just going to get worse. Whereas he could charge my knights, beat them, and then all of a sudden like be going around my flank. So in the end, he's going to decide to go for the charge. It is risky, but it's one of these things where, hey, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Rolls a 10, not quite it, so they fail. So now this is great because I don't even need to redirect anymore. I can just charge him into with my cold ones and kill his guys that way. So that was pretty nice for me. But like I said, he was kind of just in a bad situation anyway, went for some risks. Now he's trying to march here, and I mean, these guys, he might as well have left them because with me being skirmish, he can't really hide from me, and really he's just making himself have it so he's -1 to hit from moving. Might as well just stand there and shoot, or even charge, right? Those 2 guys at the bottom, maybe they'd been better off just charging in. I don't know. He's going to be moving here with his hero. Turns out it's a regular wood, and he does not crash. However, he is now within a flank charge of my spears. So hopefully that'll go off. We're now looking at the magic phase. That Hydra is still sitting in the back, wondering which way he's going to go. But he's going to be doing a Searing Doom to my regular horde. Now, the biggest thing I'm worried about is Purple Sun or Death Magic to kill my general. That's really what I'm going to wait for. So I'm going to let that one go through. I'm going to lose a couple of dudes. But the nice thing is I have really good magic defense. I don't have a level 4, but I do have a Dispel Scroll and the Cube, which is really a Dispel Scroll and a 2+. So I can really shut down a lot of magic if I want to. And especially for Dark Elves, where they can like kind of power things through by like throwing 8-10 dice at something. Okay, Scroll or Cube. But here, yeah, I'll let the Searing Doom go through. No big deal. And then we're going to be going on to shooting right away here. So yeah, I think just looking at some different ranges there. Nothing's really major. Anyway, so I start shooting to my Croxagore. I put them in the woods on purpose so I can give myself some cover there. But he's going to go with the multi-shot. Still rolled pretty well. I mean, he got more hits than I thought he was going to get. But at the end here, I get my saves. I make one of my 6s so I don't lose a model. So no panic test. He's going to start shooting to my Salamander. And really, that's something I'm not too worried about. Because with, you know, long range, skirmish, 5+, it goes on the skink. It really won't do anything to me. But it's one of these things with the Salamander where you don't want to leave them alone. Because they'll just crush you. But unless you have something serious to dedicate to it, you're not going to take it out unless you're going to spend several times shooting. So, and then his other guy's going to be shooting at my Saurus. Now the Saurus, they're Saurus. They have a toughness 4, 4+ armor, or whatever it is, and that's the big thing here. Is like, okay, well, go ahead and shoot your guys armor piercing, but it's only strength 3, so not a lot of damage there either. Then he's going to be shooting as well with his Life Taker, whatever it's called, trying to kill a couple more of my Saurus. But you know what? For this part, I mean, that's a nice thing. I got 40 of them. He doesn't really have any combat blocks. I mean, if I was to fight the Spearmen and the Hydra, that'd be an issue. But otherwise, if I fight them pretty much with anything else, I'm just going to run them over. So, and I also got the Spearmen there too. Let's not forget about them either. So, really feeling comfortable combat-wise here, as long as I don't get cranked with a purple sun or anything like that. He's trying to shoot me now with his Dark Riders, but he needs like 6s, so no lucks there. And we're on to my turn too. Stupidity, and my stupid cat fails stupidity. So this is not what I wanted. Past stupidity on my Croxagore, but yeah, that's just bad. So the Croxagore don't charge because I'd lose to the Knights. The Spearmen go into the flank of the Noble, and that's perfect. So what I do is I set up my Chameleons to really redirect the Knights. Croxagore there to counter, Skinks moving up, really everything just moving up. Especially here, just trying to clean up this right flank, kill everything, because the sooner that I kill all these war machines and stuff, the sooner I can start working on the Hydra. In fact, looking back on this, I probably should have shot at the Hydra instead of the war machine here, but whatever, not that big of a deal. Otherwise, my Razordons are going to be shooting at his Noble, finish him off. I'm going to be sending up the Skinks here to start working on his Crossbowman, because why not? And also just going to kind of shut him down and slow him down. Because, I mean, at this point here, I'm seeing that I'm going to be winning the flanks. And so if I can bottle him up, I can come around and just start killing him from the flanks. I have no problem kind of slowing this down. I'm going to try hitting him with some magic. He lets me get Wild Form off on my Spearman because he thinks, hey, it only makes his reverse ward save better. So that's going to be nice for me, though, still. Otherwise, stops the rest of my magic. I'm going to start shooting here and really doing a lot of damage. So if we look down here, killed off the last of that rider. I'm going to be then shooting at the bolt thrower I think I was rolling at. I was trying to figure out if it was a 6+ or a 5+ save. Either way, with these things having 2 wounds, they're pretty easy to take out. So there you go, 1 bolt thrower down so far, so that's pretty nice. Then over here, I didn't kill both of them. I hoped to kill both riders, was not able to do it, so a little bit unlucky there. Killed a couple of crossbowmen. And then otherwise, shoot my shot at the Cauldron. It has a 4+ ward. And I actually got like the 6th, like for like the poison shot. So could have done really awesome, but no, he's going to make his 4+ ward. Otherwise, I started rolling other stuff when he was looking that up. Salamander didn't scatter far enough. Skinks out of range of the other bolt thrower. But look at that. The Chameleons killed 3 Knights. Those guys are freaking champs. But I mean, it's one of these things where a 2+ save is awesome. But hey, if you ever roll that 1, it is really bad. So we're now kind of switching over here. We're going to be doing the combat. And at first I'm going to be taking a guy off because I thought he killed me. Then I remembered Wild Form, so he didn't actually wound. But otherwise here, I mean, I'm not going to do any wounds to him because of armor saves and reverse ward save. But at the end of the day, it's 3 ranks, a banner, a charge, a flank, and he's just going to break because he doesn't have enough room on there to also get the Crown of Command. So he's going to break, I'm going to chase, I'm going to catch him even, and run into the crossbowman. So this is really great, and of course, I mean, having Wild Form on there will just make it so that these crossbowmen need 6s to wound me, so that's going to be great. So clearly, both flanks really falling apart, really closing in on his center there. So he needs to start doing something bigger. Otherwise, yeah, my Stegodon likes falling down, because why not? And now we're going to be onto his side. So he's going to be charging in there. I shoot him with my Chameleon Skinks. Don't do anything this time. I can't get... I think I used up all my luck already. So he's going to go to those Chameleon Skinks. That's... yeah, they're dead. They're... yeah. Otherwise, yeah, he's finally now going to be dedicating here. So he's going to be moving over the Hydra, going down to this side. And that's great, because now I can charge him with my Stegodon and see if my little sharpened horns can actually do what I want him to do. Again, he's trying to move around with his Dark Rider. And, I mean, like I said, he should have just stood there and shot. But whatever. At this point, it's really doesn't matter. He's trying to move up his bunker to get in range of his death magic, but he realizes he has to move his crossbowmen first. So just moves up his crossbowmen like a couple of inches, move these guys up, and now I'm pretty worried because sorry, that death magic is pretty deadly and could kill my guy pretty easily, especially if he forces something through and gets double sixes. But what he's actually looking at first is doing Purple Sun. So he's going to be looking at his dice, trying to figure out what to do. And at the end of all this, he's going to be going actually with like almost all of his dice to cast his Purple Sun. And you know what? Saurus really don't like Purple Sun. We have a little thing called Initiative 1. It's almost like when it goes down through my trolls, but, you know, yeah. So he's going to end up rolling all these dice, but he's going to roll horrendously, rolling a whole bunch of 1s and 2s, and then like 1 6. And I'm going to tell him like, hey man, why don't you stab a guy? Because if nothing else, you might get that 6. So he's going to do this. Here, I'm going to tell him my little thing, hey, might as well try. And he's going to throw that dice. Guess what he gets? A 6. So he gets it off. It's going to go down its way. Now, it goes the artillery times 3. He rolls a 2. So doesn't go far at all. Is this going to be getting like 2 of his guys and then like my 1 skink? So really did not do as well as it could have. And then, of course, I mean, the other thing too is that he's going to take this miscast. So none of his guys dies, one of my dies. And then from the miscast, he's going to get the small template, which is going to do a wound to his level 4, and it's going to kill 10 of his spearmen, 10 of them. So now that bunker is really, really hurting. It's down to 15 guys or whatever, so really not in... It's just getting a lot weaker. He could have done without that. Now, another thing we talked about after is that Pit of Shades could have done a lot better just going the other way. Just go across to the spearmen and slaughtering them. Because I'm pretty sure you can shoot that one into combat. I think so. I don't do a lot of vortexes. Orcs don't have vortexes. So we're just talking about that there. Opportunity missed. So no big deal. Whatever. He got unlucky. I guess, you know, he did get lucky to get a 6. If he got anything else, I just would have scrolled it. But there you have it. We're going to do some shooting now. He's going to shoot his repeater bolt thrower into my Croxagore. Can't save myself this time. I'm going to be taking a panic test. Start shooting into my skinks here in front. Rolls fairly well and kills like 4 of them or something like that. Then he's actually going to use the Hydra Breath on me. And I think this was a little bit of a mistake. I think he should have saved his Hydra Breath for later. But, you know, whatever. At this point, just really want to see these skinks die. Otherwise, taking a little shot with his Dark Rider. Or, sorry, yeah. And he does nothing. And so then there's just really his Life Stealer or whatever. I'm going to lose another Saurus. And I'm going to do the Panic Tex. And look at this. My Croxagore fail. And fallen back. So that's really not what I needed over there. I really would have loved to have them there. But whatever. On this side here, he's going to be crushing my Chameleon Skinks. He actually leaves 1 alive, which I make 1 attack on the champ, fail. And then his cold ones are just going to slaughter me. And then we really are going to talk about whether it's better for him to run off the board or just reform. And really, it doesn't matter. In the end, he decides just to run off the board, just to make sure I just don't do some other shooting or something, and just gonna like try and bypass him. But yeah, it's just one of these things where it's a bad situation. Whether you go off the board or with a reform, I can get the charge on you with my knights if I want it. So yeah, we're just talking about it now, explaining all the different situations. He goes off the board, and there you go. So now he's got to do this other fight here. He used a cauldron to put the 5+ ward onto his spearmen. So his crossbowmen. Now that's going to help them, but still, I'm wild formed up. He's just like 10 dudes and a sorceress, and I'm a bunch of these Saurus. And the thing is like with all these attacks, I'm starting to notice the big benefit that predatory fighter is, right? It's just adding these extra attacks, and it really makes a difference. Now, one of the mistakes I'm going to have here is that, I'm going to kick his butt, he's going to flee, and what I'd love to do is reform so I could go after the bunker, but I can't because I have to chase him because of Predatory Fighter. Now, I designed this list to have lots of Skink Priests so that this situation, I could have ran one up so that it'd be up there and making sure it'd be okay. But I didn't do that, so I had to chase him, and hey, at least I caught him, and that's a lot of points. Otherwise now, we are just, doing our charges and reforming and stuff, and here comes a Stegodon. Stegodon's going to come into the Hydra, and I can't wait to get him with those sharpened horns and really do some massive damage. Otherwise, everything's kind of moving up. Spearman just turning to see him. And it's really just time to clean up, right? I go into the building with my big horde because I'm worried about the scatter of the purple sun. Otherwise, it's going up to those crossbowmen, going up also with the Razordons. Really a lot of overkill here if we're going after this last Dark Rider. He's going to die, man. So otherwise, I'm going to start doing my magic here in a second. We're just looking up something. I think, oh yeah, we looked up the woods on the bottom. Turned out to be one that causes fear. Magic phase, the little template just goes off harmlessly, so that's always nice. And we're going to be doing our magic phase now. I'm going to try doing my Flock of Doom, and he's just going to stop it, and no big deal. Now I'm going to be trying to do some wild form, and hey, I got a wild form bunker. Woohoo! That's what, might as well, right? Just in case he tries shooting me, might as well help myself out. Start shooting at the repeater bolt thrower at the very top, take him off. That's awesome. I scatter a good distance to get onto his bunker, and I hit like almost all of them. So he makes his lookout, sir, and then I kill tons of them, and now they're really combat ineffective, because he basically has the mage and like 6 guys, or 5 guys. And he's realizing now, like, man, I gotta get this assassin out there before, you know, there's no unit for him to actually come into. So, yeah, really not looking good in the center there. Also take off the last Dark Rider, no surprise. Shoot down a couple of the other crossbowmen that were free, and now we're going to roll my impact hits, and I got 1! So with a +1, at least I get 2. I wounded him, he has a 6+ armor, and he made it. I mean, he still had a regen, but whatever. And now this is bad, because I really thought I'd be doing my damage on the charge, and I just completely tripped and fell on my ass. So he's going to do a wound back to me. This is going to make this a draw. But, yeah, this is bad. And all of a sudden, this Hydra gets free on the bottom side, or the right side of the table from my perspective. That could really change things. We are now dealing with a baby situation, but we'll be back right away here. At this point, I just might talk about that. You know what? I really like the Stegodon. People are saying that they're going to take like the, what is it, Bastillodon instead. I'm not a big fan of him. I still really like the diversity of the Stegodon, where he's basically a chariot and a monster and a war machine. I just love him for the one upgrade, 235. It's nice. So here we are. We're going to be going back again. And, yeah, we're just finishing up this combat. Like I said, this one's going to be turning out to be a draw, and then we'll be going back to his turn. So, all this stuff finished. Checking up some rules. Come on. Yeah, making armor saves and stuff. Getting a little bit lucky there. I think I made my 6+ armor or something on a Hydra attack. So, you know, really my toughness 6 really saved me too. Only strength 5. He needed 5s to wound, but he's going to put a 5+ ward up onto those his bunker there, because might as well try and save him. His knights come on, and they're just going to reform to face me, so nothing too crazy there. He was trying to wonder if there's a way that he could just move past me and get out of my charge, but it really wasn't possible, and if nothing else, the Croxagore would still get him. So he just reforms to face me, and let's do this type of thing, right? Just don't give a flank to my Croxagore, and otherwise, let's just see how this goes. And he doesn't really have anything else. His bunker is going to reform to face me, because he figures, hey, I can always go for another Purple Sun. And if I hit these guys, that could be a lot of points. Because like I said, Initiative 1 means a lot of dead Saurus. And I mean, if he does that, I'll end up with like 5 guys living. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to reform around to look at me. And then he's going to be going for his magic. He's going to be trying to Purple Sun me. So he's going to be throwing a ton of dice. He's going to get a really high number, but no 6s. And I'm just going to scroll this. You know, scroll, done. So that's what I love about this list. Double scrolls. I can just get rid of these dangerous super spells like this. Otherwise, we're going to shooting, and he's just going to slaughter all those skinks up there. But hey, there's 70 points. Don't really care about them too much. Otherwise, yeah, shooting onto the Saurus there with his life taker and stuff, killing a couple of guys there. Also, the assassin has the throwing star, so it's going to be shooting too. And yeah, so between the two of them, they actually do some okay damage to me. You know, the assassin's like hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s. But yeah, so we're going to just start doing some combat here. The little handlers are going to go first. And yeah, everything's looking okay so far. My attack's back. I'm actually going to sneak a wound onto the Hydra. So that's nice to actually do something. Well, on his attack's back, he's going to get another wound onto me. And so this is going to be another draw combat. So now we're over here. We're back to my side. Stupidity is passed. And I'm just going to charge in with both units. So I have the Croxgore and the Knights going to his Knights. I'm going to have my Spearman and my Salamander going to his bunker. So that should be pretty easy. And then, yeah, then otherwise just moving up to shoot off and, you know, trying to kill whatever else I can. The skinks on the bottom are really free, so they can start trying to do some shots at the cauldron. My big horde comes out of the building. The bunker goes into the building. And otherwise, yeah, I'm just kind of like enveloping him at this point. Now, of course, if his Hydra kills my Stegodon, this could really change. And one of the things that kind of sucks is I was stupid and didn't put my general on the bottom side of the horde. So also I'm outside of my general range. And that was just stupid. That was just a silly mistake on my part. Luckily, it won't come to matter. A little bit of a spoiler, like kind of. And we're just going to do some magic phase. And I'm going to be getting off a... what is it? Flock of Doom, which does like nothing to him. And then I'm going to be doing some shooting here, going into his cauldron. And we end up doing like 1 wound to it. And hey, that's a start, right? I also shot into his crossbowmen, killed some more of them. I think there's like 4 or 3 or something now. So not very much whatsoever. Looking over there onto the night combat, his champ has this cool little whip weapon that makes him like has strength 5 attacks. And yeah, it's pretty solid, but the main thing is that he's not charging here, so all of his other attacks are just going to be the weaker strength, no lance bonus, and my attacks going back are going to be strength 5, so 2 plus the wound, just 4 plus saves. Then I have a Croxgore attack too, so this is really just going to be, you know, he's going to do some wounds to me, but I'm just going to crush him back and have 2 units to chase him. So we'll roll it out. I think I killed 3 knights. I also killed one of the champs as one of those 3. So I don't have to care about him and his silly magic weapon anymore. Croxgore is also going to attack, kill like another guy or 2, and then he's just going to break, and I'm going to run him down. So at that point, the left flank is just completely fallen apart, and that's just great. There's nothing else I can do, you know, with all the blocks of Saurus up there. There's nothing really for me to swing into, but hey, you know, points gotten, board controlled, happy days. Now we're going to do the middle combat here. He's going to attack with all of his characters, kill some of his Saurus and stuff. Sorry, lots of talking, dry throat. But, I mean, the big thing here is that only the assassin can really do anything. The spearman, only strength 3. You know, his mage obviously is a mage, so I'm going to really crank into them. Put a lot of attacks into the assassin, needing 9s to hit, but tried to kill him off. Failed to do that. Actually, I thought I'd wipe out some of the unit, but that 5+ ward he put onto him is going to save him again. So I'm going to beat him up pretty good. He is going to break. I'm going to fail to catch him. And the way it works, it's kind of hard to see here, but my Salamander is going to go into the few remaining crossbowmen, and then they're going to be in the way of the spearmen. So they'll just go up like an inch and stop. So we're just rolling it out now. And again, when you're rolling all these dice, Predatory Fighter is just awesome. So rolling all this stuff, killing off some spearmen. He is going to be breaking right away here, running away. And now, I mean, at this point now, his center is falling apart, so it's really just down to like a cauldron and a Hydra. So, yeah, not a really good day for the Dark Elves. Everything's kind of falling apart. I mean, now, like, the Hydra is like the final hero, but that's about it. So now we're going to be doing the combat down here. Like I said, I'm feeling stupid because my general's not in range. But, you know, it's not going to matter because there's me just measuring it. It just kills my Stegodon. So no leadership needed. Panic is passed. Otherwise, now it also panics my skinks and they go off. And I got this free Hydra. And this is where we come to his turn and our mistake of the game. Because, first of all, he charges my Razordons and I flee. He redirects into my Saurus and we'll just fight there instead. Now, the big mistake here is twofold. One, Razordons have to stand and shoot, so they can't flee. Second mistake, that building, the Dwarven Brewhouse, makes you immune to Psych, so you can't flee. So that was just a real brain fart on my part. Obviously, have not used Razordons in a very long time. Most people have never used them or seen them, so sorry, my bad. Wouldn't have really changed very much in this game anyway. His bunker keeps running. He's going to put the +1 attack onto his Hydra. I'm going to be moving my character over. I'm also going to be screwing up this combat because, well, he has no magic, no shooting, but I'm going to be failing my fear test here when, again, they are going to be immune to Psych because they are going to be too close to that building. So whatever, little mistake we made here. After this combat, that's when we remember, like, oh yeah, I'm unipsych and all these things. So not really that big of a deal. But in this combat here, he's going to be losing a lot because he directed a lot of attacks onto my Scarvet. And my Scarvet that has a Stegodon helm is toughness 6. He has a good weapon skill. So he really is not going to be damaged very quickly. So he loses a lot of attacks there. He is going to be doing 1 wound to me, though, which has me scared because, you know, he's just a 2-wound hero. That's it. And actually, with all of his attacks, I thought I might just break him with combat static res. But then, of course, what's going to happen? He's going to get like a stomp of a 6. And, stomps and monsters and infantry. My Saurus do not like it. But either way, I'm going to be steadfast, and I'm going to hold. And it's one of these things where I'm just going to be slowly grinding this Hydra down. You know, Hydras are good, but, I mean, here, if he would have had his breath weapon, that could have helped even more. But an already injured Hydra taking on a full unit, it's just going to be trouble, right? So, you know, if you can double up the Hydra, I put the Hydra with the Spearman, but the way it is, he's kind of trying to be the hero all by himself. Otherwise, I'm fighting these crossbowmen. They are going to hold because they're stubborn. I'm going to slide over my Salamander so I can charge in with my Spearman. So that's pretty much going to happen here. They're going to charge in. I'm going to fail the rally with the Razordons. Everything else kind of moving over just in case. Just the hope that maybe I can get these guys to do something else later on. And then otherwise, on this side, I'm just going to turn around and try and shoot all the bunker as it flees. I mean, they need double ones, but, you know, I might just try and kill them off, because if the game ends and they don't go off the board, he keeps all those points, so I might as well try and shoot him off. In the magic phase, I put Wild Form up onto my unit, and it's kind of stupid, because then I forgot about Wild Form. I mean, it's just, I don't know, at this point we're getting close to midnight, so maybe I can blame it on me being tired, but, again, I'm also a thing where I'm not used to playing armies to get Wild Form. You know, I don't play Beastmen. I don't play this other stuff. This is like the first time I'm doing this. So, you know, when the Hydra's going to attack me, I'm going to think I'm toughness 4 and stuff. But, whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing some shooting here into the bunker. Doing nothing, pretty much. I really thought I was going to be, like, wiping guys out. I just did some wounds to characters. That's it. Here, I'm going to be just killing all the crossbowmen. Then overrunning into the Cauldron. Now we're going to be getting to the bigger combat here. He's now going to be focusing on the actual unit. So getting more kills there, just making sure he's not going to lose combat, especially now he doesn't have a BS... Okay, sorry, he does still have a BSB reroll, but why chance it, right? Let's just break down these ranks and start doing it this way. So that's what he's doing, lots of attacks, especially with the Cauldron, basically giving the model +3 attacks, because each component is getting it. Attacking back, though, I'm going to be doing a few wounds to the Hydra. You know, it's just one of these things where, like I said, it's so many attacks. Predatory Fighter even adds more. Predatory Fighter on the Scarvet's even better. They're getting these stronger, better attacks. But he's going to hold. He's stubborn. All these things are fine. Now it's going on to his side. He's not going to rally, so he's going to keep on running with his bunker. And then otherwise, yeah, he does the same thing. +1 attack onto the Hydra. There's no magic, there's no shooting, so it's combat time. And I believe first we're doing the Cauldron attacks. Oh no, we're still going to be doing the Hydra one first. And I think right now he's trying to kill off my character, but just having no luck. Yeah, I mean, on my part back, going against him, grinding a little bit more. It's just one of these things where, like, I can't say it enough times, the Hydra is just trying to be the hero of the game, and it's just too little too late. It's just one of these things where eventually the Hydra is going to die. And especially this turn where I remember having Wild Form, it just made it even harder for him to do stomps or attacks or really anything like that. Now we're looking at the Cauldron, trying to figure out how many crazy attacks this thing has. It's one of the things where I can't wait for this one to have a new book, because right now, basically all the rules are in the FAQ. And so it's going to end up in like 10 attacks with poison and stuff, and killing some guys. It's technically a war machine, I believe, so I only have 6 guys fighting back. But I'll almost kill it this turn. I think I end up doing 3 wounds. There's 1 wound from shooting before, so it's down to like its last wound now. It's unbreakable, so it doesn't care. It's just sitting around. And yeah, then on my turn here, I'm going to rally. Not going to even bother to move some things, because whatever. Magic phase, I roll a double 6. So what am I going to do? Double six my wild forms. So he tries to stop the first one, fails. Second one is irresistible. There'll be a blast on the building, which will kill a few guys, but no big deal. And now, yeah, I got strength 6, toughness 6, Saurus. This is like the dream. So now I'll be doing my shooting into his bunker there, and now they're going to be pretty much toast. You know, I spread everything out. He has a few saves. He fails them. The other characters don't have a save, so bam. That is a ton of points. He's down to now just the Cauldron and the Hydra, clinging on to life here. And, you know, he'll do his attacks, but his Cauldron's already lost to combat, so now has less attacks because it lost Frenzy. It's going to kill like, maybe a guy, can't remember. I'm going to attack back, take off that last wound, so no more Cauldron. Roll it up and die. There it goes, so no more Cauldron. And then we'll just get here to the Hydra. The Hydra, just in spite, is going to do everything it can to try and kill my Scarvet. It's going to fail, because I'm like toughness 7 now. But then my attacks back is just going to kill the Hydra. Blah, and that's the game. So there you go, a win for the Lizardmen, and you know what? I'm really liking the new book. I haven't played my Lizardmen in a while. They're just, you know, I like my orcs a lot better. And when I opened up my case from like a year and a half ago, there's a lot of broken stuff in there, so wasn't really feeling them. Is this whatever? I'll get out a Lizardman battle for the fans. But after I play these games, I'm really liking it. I like the fact that I don't need a slan anymore. I can run these skink priests. I'm loving the predatory fighter. Again, with building in the skink priests, I should have ran one up there, and then all of a sudden I don't have to worry about being forced to pursue. So that build really works. Something I noticed as well, though, is that wild form is pretty hard to cast. It's not like most 6 spells where it's like, oh yeah, it's like a 6 to cast or something. So obviously, 3 of them with wild form is a waste. I think what I should have done is if I knocked off the 3rd one and freed up 5 points there, which in this list would have meant the extra skink handler on the salamander, take that out, and basically they'd be both level 2s. And then that way I have 2 wild forms and I have 2 other spells as well. So I think that's really the way to go. I'll try that out for the next time I use my Lizardman, whenever that is. For my opponent, really, you know, the way that his list is it's meant to be there and trying to like shoot me off and magic me off, but my high toughness meant that, you know, his shooting really didn't do too much. His magic really didn't do much for him either. Again, like if it ever was serious, I could have scrolled it. The one time he gets off Purple Sun, he doesn't roll far enough, because I mean really, if that Purple Sun would have gone through my unit, could have killed my general, could have killed like half that unit, or if he sent it the other way, he could have like wiped out that whole unit of spears, got a bunch of dice back, and then maybe like tried to assassinate my general. I probably scrolled that, but whatever. I mean, those are what his list is supposed to do, but it didn't happen, and then so really all it was a bunch of squishy little elves, and I got to go and knock him down. Probably another thing he should have done is consolidated better, because when he spread out and had like the Dark Riders over here and the Hydra and then the Knights over there, is that I was able to then basically use my multiple units to beat them. Of course, the Skinks are a perfect counter to the Dark Riders, but for the Knights, all of a sudden when there's Knights fighting 2 units of Skinks, other Knights of mine, and Croxagore, they just can't win that because their mobility does nothing for them. You know, he tried for that 11-inch, like needing 11 to charge, failed that. That's pretty much his only way out of it. And on the other side, his Hydra was pretty much taken away from the rest of the army. I think the Hydra should not have been behind the house. Should have been somewhere there, say like between the 2 crossbow units, just to say like, hey, if you come in here, I can charge, be a little bit more threatening. And then the Knights as well. I mean, maybe he should have just forgotten about the one flank and then brought the Dark Riders over as, you know, to help out the Knights, right? The Dark Riders could have at least charged in and tried killing the Skinks or redirecting as well, something like that. But because he spaced out, I was able to just move up, isolate the Knights, kill off the Dark Riders, and then the flanks were falling apart. The center wasn't happy, and yeah, there you go. But anyway, hope you guys still like this format. Hope you guys like the new Lizardmen, and we'll catch you later. Bye.